Hello, welcome to the Unit 2 quiz review. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So number 1, identify the number of terms, variables, degree, coefficients, and constants. All right, so let's count the terms here. So each term is separated by a plus and a minus sign. So let's see, we have our first term here. See, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I believe that's 6 terms. I want to kind of double check it real quick. So this is one of them. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, cool. Yep, so 6 terms indeed. The variables, let's count them out. I'm going to list them as well. So we have X, we have Z, we have A, we have B. I already said X. We have A, I already said A, C and D, C and D. And that's it. So it looks like there are 6 different variables as well. Degree. So going term by term, our first term, the 4 plus 2 for the exponents makes 6. So that's a degree of 6. This one, a 3 and a 1 and a 3. That's going to be 7. 3 plus 1 plus 3 is 7. This is just the 1, so it's just 1. Constant, so 0. This one, a 4 and a 1, so that adds up to 5, and then again another constant of 0. So the highest degree that we see is 7, so degree 7. Coefficients. So coefficients in front of the terms with variables. So -4 is a coefficient. Hold on a second, a little bit of lag there, a little bit of lag there. Give it a minute, give it a minute. There it goes, you can see it. So -4 is a coefficient, this 9 is a coefficient, and the -13. The 7's not because it's a constant. The -10 is, and again, the -1 is not because it's a constant. So there are 4 coefficients. You can see I've circled them there, -4, 9, -13, and -10. The constants, as I marked off, were just the plain numbers. That was the 7 and the -1. There are 2 constants, the 7 and the -1. All right. Let's move on to question number 2. So it says solve the formula for R. Okay, so let me write the formula out over here. We have P equals -Q minus R. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is go ahead and add the Q over to the other side. So let's do that. So plus Q plus Q. So that'll cancel that out. So on the left, we have P plus Q. They don't combine, they just separate. P plus Q equals -R. And then, since it's a -R, remember that it is like a -1R, we're going to have to divide by -1 from all of these terms. So what that will leave us is it does get the R by itself. It'll be positive since the negatives cancel. But what it's going to equal is, well, P divided by -1 would be -P. And same thing with Q. Q divided by -1 would be -Q. So it'll be equal -P minus Q. So that'll be our answer for R. All right, number 3. So we have the ideal gas law, PV equals nRT. It tells us what all the variables mean. P is pressure, V is volume, etc. It says solve the equation for R. All right, so let's see. I'm going to put it over here, kind of zoom in on this. So PV equals nRT. It's really not going to be that much work. To solve for R, simply need to get rid of the n and the t. Now both n and t are multiplied to r, so both of them are going to need to be divided to cancel out. So n divided by n would cancel out, and t divided by t would cancel out. So we're going to divide both sides by n and t. And so that's pretty much it, because none of it combines. You have PV divided by NT equal to R. And that is it. That is the final answer. So it's not as complicated as maybe at first might have appeared to look like it was. Let's look at what number is next? Number 4. So we have a function. We have a domain of 0 to 9. What is the range? So if the domain is 0 to 9, these are essentially ends. You can think of them as the ends of the function. So the range also is ends of functions, but it's for the y values instead of the x's. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by plugging these in for the x value and then getting the y values associated with them. So let's see. So -2 times 0, we're going to put this value in first, the lower end of the domain, plus 5. So that's going to be 0 plus 5, which will equal 5. And then we're going to plug in the 9, which is the upper end of the domain. So -2 times 9 plus 5. So that's -18 plus 5, which is -14. No, sorry, -13. All right. So these were the ends for the x values, but now these are the ends for the y values. So what that means is that's going to put our range as these endpoints. So -13 is the lowest one. So -13 is our lower end, and +5 is our higher end. So that's going to be our answer from -13 to 5. So it's a matter of just plugging in the values from the domain to the function and then getting the y values out. So like I said, these are the ends of the function as far as the x's are concerned. So these are also the ends of the function, but as the y values, since we plugged in the ends of the x's. Number 5. Yeah, number 5. How many x-intercepts are there in the function? So you don't have to do any math, you just have to look. We have one y-intercept here. That's not really relevant though. We're talking about x-intercepts. The x-intercepts, we have one at 2 and we have one at 6. And that's it. We cross here and we cross there. So if you can't tell, it's not the best graph, but we have the x-axis right here. And so the function's crossing that axis in 2 locations. So there are 2 x-intercepts. There we are. Question number 6. Evaluate the function for when x equals 9. So if x is equal to 9, we're going to plug that in for x, right? X is 9, so x is 9. So we're going to plug that in. We're going to solve. So -5 times 9 is going to be -45. And then -45 plus 25 is -20. So f of 9 is equal to -20. Basically, the function, when evaluated at 9, is equal to -20. -20 is your answer. And then 2 more. Question number 7. Find the value of x so that the function has the given value. Okay, so it's kind of similar to number 6, but a little reverse. This is your k of x value. So this number is going to go plugged in for the k of x value. So that means we're going to replace this with 25. And we still have, of course, the 15x minus 20. But that's what we're going to do here, is that 25 is going to replace that k of x. All right, and then we just solve. So we'll start by adding the 20 to both sides. So that cancels out. We end up with 45 equal to 15x. And then we divide by 15. And so we end up having 45 divided by 15, which is 3. 3 is equal to x. And that's going to be our answer for number 7. And then finally, number 8, find the slope of the line that passes through the points below. Okay, so pick any 2 points. It doesn't matter which 2 points. I'll pick the first 2, of course. So this would be x1 and y1. This would be x2 and y2. It doesn't have to be these points, but I tend to pick the smaller numbers if I can. So that's what I've done. So our slope formula, remember, is y2 minus y1 on top and x2 minus x1 on bottom. Don't forget that the x's are on the bottom, the y's are on the top. So y2 minus y1 is -1 minus 11. And then x2 minus x1 is 1 minus -2. Oh, that was x2. Hold on. I erased these. I didn't want to erase them. There you go. All right, so let's evaluate. So -1 minus 11 is -12. And then this would be like 1 plus 2, right? So 1 plus 2 is 3. So -12 divided by 3 is -4. So my slope is -4. All right. That's a pretty quick walkthrough of all 8 questions. Remember, you can go back and rewatch any of them. If you have any other questions about them, let me know that too. I'll see you guys in class. Best of luck on the quiz. Bye for now.